Howdy y'all, Jackson here with Icktrick Studios. I'm back with another new series, What If? A thought experiment where I go through what if scenarios in the world of sports. Today's episode is, what if Drew Henson had played his senior season of football? For those of you that don't know, Drew Henson was a highly touted baseball and football prospect right around the turn of the millennium. He chose to attend the University of Michigan after Chris Winkie committed to his original choice of Florida State. There, he would push upperclassman Tom Brady for playing time up until Tom Brady's graduation. He finally gained sole ownership over the starting job in 2000 and led the Wolverines to a Citrus Bowl victory and a 9-3 record. Though after the season, he decided to forego his senior season of eligibility to pursue his professional baseball career. But what if he had stayed for his senior season? Things would start off with a dominating win over Miami of Ohio, then a close victory over ranked Washington, a different result from reality. But then frustration would start for the Wolverines, as they suffered a 1-point loss to Western Michigan, a game in which Drew Henson would be knocked out of, causing him to miss the following week's game at Illinois, a game they would still win. His comeback would not be stellar though, as they would suffer a 3-point loss at Penn State, though they would then rattle off 3 straight conference wins against Purdue, Iowa, and Michigan State, before then suffering another devastating loss, losing the Little Brown Jug at home to Minnesota. They would then rebound with a victory over Wisconsin, before then suffering a 3-point loss to rival Ohio State. Henson would lead the Wolverines to a 7-4 record, good for 4th place in the Big Ten, and a trip to San Antonio, Texas and the Alamo Bowl, where the number 18 Wolverines will be taking on the Oklahoma State Cowboys. We now find ourselves in the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas, as the number 18 Wolverines are taking on the Oklahoma State Cowboys. The Wolverines are led by senior quarterback Drew Henson, who tallied up 2,200 yards and 17 touchdowns this season against 9 interceptions. Michigan would receive the opening kickoff but faced an early 3rd down, but Henson would find Rudy Smith deep to get the first and get the Wolverines into Cowboy territory. Chris Perry would then get the handoff and power through the line for the 1st down. 2 plays later, Henson would roll to his right and find an open Sean Thompson, who would turn upfield and find his way inside the Oklahoma State 5. Perry would then finish off the drive, powering in for the touchdown. After a defensive stop, Michigan would get the ball back but would face another 3rd down. But Perry would spin through some tacklers and get across the line for a new set of downs. They would quickly find themselves in a 3rd down situation yet again and would return to the run game, handing it off to Walter Cross, who would bounce outside and pick up the first. Cross would then get the ball again and pick up 6. Michigan would then return to the pass game, as Henson would have some time, before firing a dolt to Ronald Bellamy to get inside the red zone. The Oklahoma State defense would then tighten up, forcing this field goal. After giving up a touchdown to the Cowboys' offense, Henson comes out firing, hitting Bellamy for the first. 2 plays later, he hit Marquise Walker for another first. Later in the drive, faced with a 3rd and long, Henson would hit Perry out of the backfield, who turn upfield and pick up 13, along with the first. They'd then have to settle for another field goal, faced with the 4th and the clock ticking down. That brings us to halftime with the Wolverines up 13-7. After a defensive stop to start the half, Michigan's offense looks to keep things going as Henson finds Bill Seymour for the first. 2 plays later, B.J. Askew powers forward for the first. Perry would then get the handoff and go up the middle for 5. Then they'd go right back at it with Askew for another first. Perry would then get it again, taking it up the middle before bouncing outside and taking it for a big gain to get inside the Oklahoma State 30. Michigan would then fizzle out again offensively, settling for yet another field goal. Then after a Cowboy turnover, Michigan has the ball in plus territory, but are facing a 3rd down. Henson would have all the time in the world before firing a pass to Calvin Bell to get to about the 5. Askew would then get his way through the trenches into the end zone for 6. Perry would then do much of the same to get in for the 2-point conversion. Michigan would add an additional score on defense as they rolled to victory 31-7 over Oklahoma State. With the win, Michigan is the 2001 Alamo Bowl champion, finishing the season with an 8-4 record. In the game, Henson completed 11 of 22 passes for 165 yards, no touchdowns, and no interceptions. And with that, we now know one possible outcome if Drew Henson had played his senior season. In the wide scale of things, there is not much difference between this reality and our reality, as Michigan finished with the same record, only this time winning their bowl game. Thank you all for watching this episode of What If. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like. If you didn't, feel free to leave a dislike, and please subscribe if you have not already. Also, if you have a what if situation you'd like to see, please let me know in the comments. Thanks again. Bye.